From the national newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. The Prime Minister and the Premiers have sat down together in Ottawa as they stare down the effects of Chinese and U.S. tariffs. A spokesperson for Prime Minister Mark Carney said earlier this week the meeting is a chance to discuss creating a single Canadian economy instead of 13 separate ones. The meeting at the Canadian War Museum comes just days before the Prime Minister is expected to trigger a federal election campaign. And Canada's main political parties are already ramping up their attacks ahead of that widely expected Sunday election call. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre made a campaign-style announcement about boosting training and employment in the skilled trades.
Conservatives will provide funds to union training halls like this one for machines, bricks, mortar, walls, floors, all of the above, with the goal of training 350,000 apprentices and other trades workers over the next 5 years.
Poilievre says he'll work with the provinces to harmonize health and safety regulations so workers can work anywhere in Canada. Quebec broadcaster TVA says the four main federal parties will have to pay $75,000 each to be in the televised French-language election debate. The Quebecor-owned television network blames its difficult financial situation and says TVA would not make any profit. Mayors of several Canadian border cities and towns are warning of dire economic consequences if Ottawa doesn't help them immediately. They say their communities' businesses are disproportionately affected by tariffs and the U.S. trade war. Sarnia, Ontario Mayor Mike Bradley says the border mayors plan to apply more pressure on Ottawa after the federal election. London's Heathrow Airport is slowly resuming flights after a fire caused an electrical outage that closed the airport, disrupting Europe's busiest travel hub.
Flights at Heathrow officially beginning to resume more than 18 hours after a fire shut down the airport, disrupting travel around the world. Counter-terror police are investigating the incident, with the government saying there are still questions to answer. The hope is everything will be back to normal by Saturday. Inez de la Quatera, ABC News, London.
An Ontario court has granted Hudson's Bay permission to start liquidating all but 6 of its stores on Monday. Lawyer for the employees, Andrew Hatney, says it's not a happy ending.
It's a terrible day for the Bay, terrible day for the employees. We're getting calls that they're very upset and distressed about their futures.
He says keeping the 6 stores open helps employees in the short term, but fears there are no plans that could keep them open long term. The founder of Canadian Music Week is suing the people who bought the now renamed Departure Festival. Former CMW president and creator Neil Dixon alleges the new owners breached their contract, failing to pay fees tied to the acquisition. None of the allegations have been tested in court. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Edmonton Oilers head coach Chris Knobloch says superstar forwards Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl will be out at least a week with lower body injuries. McDavid was hurt last night. Draisaitl was injured Monday. Only one game on tonight's NHL schedule. Columbus visits Pittsburgh. Canadian teen Victoria Mboko fell just short of a major upset at the Miami Open after falling to 10th seed Paula Badosa in the women's second round. Montreal's Felix Auger-Aliassime moved on with a win over Australian qualifier Tristan Schoolcade. Toronto FC is looking for its first win at the New York Red Bulls since March 2016, when it visits Sports Illustrated Stadium tomorrow. Toronto coach Robin Fraser says playing the Red Bulls is never easy.
They have a lot of energy wherever they play, and they have even more energy at home. And they make it very difficult for teams to play there.
At 0-3-1, Toronto is looking for its first win of the season. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.